No, yeah. Remember when uh, March of the Penguins came out, and then all of a sudden, like every fucking thing was penguins for a long time. Like that was exactly the same time like Happy Feet and Farce of the Penguins and Surf's Up and all of these other like penguin related things happened at the exact same time.
Yeah.
Because literally a year and a half beforehand, nobody knew that penguins even existed. Like they're like, oh, they're marketable. Let's do this.
There was kind of a thing with insects at one point too.
Well, I mean, no. That's a different story because there, some dude got fired from Pixar, and as a sort of act of vengeance, he tried to make a competition bug movie called Ants. At the same time, and he was like, "I'm gonna make mine for cheaper, and it's gonna come out faster." He was basically the Asylum before the Asylum existed. Ants was bad.
No.
It was really bad.
No.
It was really bad.
It wasn't shit nasty, but the thing is that Christopher Walken, I couldn't just. I only heard his voice the entire movie. That's the thing.
Christopher Walken is the only person that can do his own accent.
That movie had.
Wait, Christopher Walken was in Ants?
Yeah.
When was what?
Usually when big name celebrities take voice acting roles, they're only playing themselves anyway, so I don't really blame Christopher Walken for doing that. And I also kind of, you know what really fucking sucks? Sandra Bullock's got a Best Actress nomination right now for Gravity.
Oh.
What the fuck happened? She was like easily the worst part of that whole movie.
Easily the worst part. 0 out of 10.
Well, the movie's not a 0 out of 10, obviously.
I nominated.
But even if you liked the movie, it's like you can't. I know some people say that she did it a good job, but I can't think of anybody that would say like she deserves a nomination for an Academy Award. I think people in Hollywood just fucking love her. I think she's just really good friends with some people. I kind of feel that way about Alexander Payne right now, considering how many nominations Nebraska has. Because that movie was a piece of shit.
Really good friends with people.
Nebraska is black and white for the sake of being black and white. Is there a point to it being
it pretends to have a point. It's like it's because the movie's theme is simplicity, but it's not. It's like it's the most unambitious thing I've ever seen, and the acting was terrible, and the writing was predictable, and nothing about it was good. Like,
yeah, I didn't see it.
It wasn't that like people weren't that good in it. It was that a lot of the performances can be described with the word bad. You know, like actually bad. You can move over that heater if you want to fit in, or I can move like this.
Hooray!
Is there any way to like full screen this? Because I'm getting a lot.
Yeah, you
full screen what?
If you have a Mac, you can.
Oh no, I have Windows.
Oh, I have no idea how to help you then.
Yeah, I think I'm shadow left here.
No, yeah, Nebraska wasn't very good. Nebraska was not the most disappointing movie of 2013, obviously, but it was a disappointment.
Well, I just hate bullshit. When people make stuff black and the black and white thing really bothers me.
Black and white worked for Kill Bill. Black and white worked for Memento. Black and white worked for The White Ribbon. It had no purpose in Nebraska.
I didn't have a problem with the black and white in Nebraska. I just thought that there was nothing like.
There was no point to it.
There was no good
First
part of
I just hate
it.
blacks and whites equally.
I have a
It's
problem
like
with
what
them
a
doing
teenage
black
girl
and white.
does. Black and white, now autistic.
Well, I mean, like, I wouldn't hate the movie being in black and white if it was a good movie, right? But it being in black and white and having absolutely nothing to support it artistically, except for Bruce Dern, and that's... Sorry? Memento was in black and white. Yes, it was. About a quarter of the scenes were in black and white. because they
Again,
had
those have
it was
points
partially in
to
black
it.
and white. Yeah.
Those
no, yeah,
things
and it
have
had a
points.
purpose to it being black and white because there were two different timelines happening at once that intersected at the end, and you had to be able to tell which one was from which timeline, right? That made sense.
That one made
the most
that one
sense
was less
out
of a
of.
stylistic choice. Well, I mean, it was a stylistic choice, but it was necessary. It actually had a purpose, right?
Yeah, exactly. That made
It
the
wasn't
most
just a
sense out of having
stylistic
something
choice.
black and white.
You know, the white ribbon, I feel like, is more of... It was just a stylistic choice.
Exactly, and it's because it's from a time period too, right? But Nebraska is just like, okay, you did it.
What, like
Getting
the
attention.
Human Centipede 2?
Hmm?
The Human Centipede 2.
That
Makes no sense.
I will
Don't have
accept
a purpose
whatever
for being
it wants.
black and white.
Human Centipede 2 is so nonsensical in the first place that anything that they can do to make it even more nonsensical is a good thing.
I don't even. It was a well thought out choice. One thing in that movie was colored, and there was a reason why the rest of the movie was
Yeah,
black and
that
white.
actually, once that happened, I was like, oh, so that's why you wanted to do it. That was a disturbing movie. I want to see that again. There's the third one's coming out in 2014, and I'm excited. I hope it's just as ridiculous. Because honestly, I think that director has found what he's good at. Is like the most disgusting, ridiculous type of movie that like doesn't even try to make sense, you know? Those can be good.
I feel like
Have you-
they try too hard though. The Human
Well-
Centipede.
They tried too hard in Human Centipede?
Yes.
To do what? To be... You know what movie tried really way too hard to be edgy? A Serbian film.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
movie was a try-hard.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm gonna rape a baby. Isn't this hard? So edgy.
I tried to watch it because people were talking about this so
Yeah, at that
controversial
point,
and everything. It
more
was kind of
feels
just
like
a bad
snap porn
movie.
than actual.
The Serbian film wasn't
Like,
very
there was
good.
no reason to watch that movie.
There was a good twist, and that's about it. Except it wasn't a very good
It wasn't a
twist.
very good-
Have you heard what the directors say? Like
About a Serbian
why
film?
it's that violent and the content and everything like that? They're like, it's a metaphor for a country being raped.
Oh,
Yeah.
I believe that. Remember when Lady Gaga wore a meat dress and she tried to say it was a metaphor for like gay rights?
That was the best.
People don't know what metaphors are.
Well,
That's
at
safe.
the start of the movie of the Serbian film, I guess you could kind of say that how they use the lighting and all that, it might be undertones of depression and all that. But once the gore starts, it just goes downhill as fuck. From
Yeah.
there.
I liked the Human Centipede much better, just because I feel like it accomplished its goal better. And even when there wasn't gore building up to it in the first one, there was at least some really, really hilarious acting by those two girls. That was fucking hilarious. I think that's the reason I wound up seeing the movie, is because in the trailer I was like, what the fuck is this?
So it kind of has a Troll 2 vibe for you.
Hmm?
So it kind of has that Troll 2 vibe for you, where it's just so bad it's bad.
Well, you know what? For Human Centipede, yeah, but I don't even consider Troll 2. Well, I mean, like Troll 2 is among the top, but I saw it once and I was kind of like done with it. I enjoyed Troll 2, but it's not something that I can get like repeated watch enjoyment out of. Not like Birdemic. Birdemic is
Well,
great.
Is a Terminator.
The main character in what?
In Pandemic is actually a Terminator.
Oh my god, that would make so much sense. You know what I found really weird? Like, so I just watched Pumping Iron with Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Yes.
right? And I understand what he did in terms of, like, in the 70s, people just liked him so much to just start throwing him in movies because he was a bodybuilder and he like had a nice face and whatnot. I don't know, because it was cool that he got the role as the Terminator and he played it well, but logically, why would you design a robot with that accent? Why would you do it? What purpose does designing a robot with that accent
Oh, it would be black.
serve. There's no, like, if you'd made a robot in the future, they would talk in a way that was easier to understand and not more difficult. I don't understand. It's amazing how such a simple decision, like not specifically stating what year it is and not spelling things out for people, can do to a film like Spike Jonze's Her, because I feel like that added to it a lot. That they let you experience it as a story and not like. I feel like it kind of would have gotten ruined if it had that opening title sequence being like, this is what's happening in the future, and this is what we're going to explain to you, and this is what you need to know about the movie in order to understand
I
anything.
feel as though I can't get past his mustache. That's all I can't get past. The film is great, but
Yeah, but I feel like
It's maybe really
Great
fashionable in the
mustache.
future.
That's a really good mustache.
You know what? I wasn't, like, the fact that he had the mustache, I was kind of thinking the same thing, but I think he wore it well. I don't think it was that bad of a mustache.
I still think he has that not.
I would date him even if he had that mustache.
yeah, but
So,
serious note.
except I'm not an OS, so I have no chance.
I feel like the whole technology thing became like irrelevant at one point in Her.
I mean, like,
irrelevant, but yeah.
it was the implication that it wasn't relevant throughout the whole movie, you know? Like, it was relevant in the sense that it was cool to see it visually and sort of make things up in your own head about it, and to understand that it doesn't matter when in when in the future it happens, it's bound to happen at some point, sort of thing. Like, it's already within our grasp of understanding. Like, I'm pretty sure everybody watching that movie is, like, thinking that, yeah, that will probably happen in the future. People will be dating OSs.
AI.
Like, we're not that far away. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's not like AI where they like shove every single fucking thing in your face.
Mhm.
Like, this is gonna happen. This is.
I really wish Kubrick did
AI
AI.
is fucking a long ways
Yeah.
off.
I liked AI, but I really wish Kubrick did it. I didn't like. I liked it in the sense that I liked parts of it, and I liked the sort of ideas and themes that it was going for, but I didn't think it was executed that well. I think that the premise and original story is much better than how it was done, which is
Yeah.
probably explains why Kubrick was supposed to do it and then died and then didn't. So
Well, one thing I like about the movie is the fact that you know the kettle, like it's that like the kettle in their house is actually a thing now.
oh,
It's
what?
supposed to be super futuristic.
I haven't
but,
seen
like,
that movie in a long time. What is the kettle?
It's like one of those electric kettles.
And they just didn't have one before, and now
Yeah, and, like it wasn't a thing before, and now it's a thing, and it looks really similar.
that happened with a lot of things in Star Trek, apparently.
Huh.
Like, yeah, automatic doors weren't the thing, and then Star Trek did it, and then they became a thing. You have to wonder if, like, people would have invented it beforehand or not.
Cell phones?
Yeah, apparently. But I mean, like, cell phones were just the thing that were waiting to happen anyway.
Yeah.
I love it when futuristic movies are so far off, because I think the most accurate thing about Her is that in the future things are pretty much going to basically revolve around our little gadgets that we have on ourselves at all time. That's kind of where other movies kind of missed the mark. Is when you look at a movie like 2001: A Space Odyssey, he's still going to like the booth to make a telephone video call, right? And like nobody's got these little personal devices. It's all I don't know. It's difficult to sort of think into the future in a way that makes sense because you don't know what's going to be invented yet. Maybe we're gonna be far off too, because I don't know how big those like watch phones are gonna become. Those like Samsung, like, this is my phone. Now watches are relevant again. I don't like watches.
2001 was pretty good for predicting like 15 years ago. You know?
Yeah. But that's about it. What's up?
Font.
Sorry?
What's your favorite font?
My favorite what?
Like typeface.
Font.
Type.
Oh god.
Typeface.
Comic
Um,
Sans.
I suck at
Sans,
naming
sans
fonts.
serif.
The most terrible one.
The most terrible one is obviously Comic Sans.
Sans.
Sans. But
Sounds rated.
that's, I don't know. I use Impact a lot, but that's also really popular, and as soon as something becomes popular, then it becomes uncool. So, be prepared. Everybody's already hating Doge. Has anybody, like, I remember the day when I was on 4chan and fucking Rage Comics and Forever Alone and all of those things were like the coolest thing on 4chan. But they were so easily exploitable by people who didn't understand them and people that really sucked at being funny that they became so uncool within like a year. That was a thing, you know? Fucking everybody keeps acting as if they were always bad, but they weren't always bad. They were an acceptable thing. They were socially acceptable at one point, and now it's only like 10-year-olds.
I think we hit the rock bottom when 9gag got to them.
Yeah, 9gag ruins everything. That's kind of why, I think that's why the Dodge meme is lasting a bit longer. Even though some people hate it, I don't hate it yet. And I think that part of the reason why that is because it's really difficult to fuck up because the humor in it and the requirements for making one of them is so simple that you can't be like the people that ruined Rage Comics by inserting their own little shitty, dramatic, wanting to boost their own self-esteem personal issues into it. You just have a fucking picture and you go like, very wow, such whatever, right? It's really difficult to ruin. And yet, politicians are using memes and they ruin everything. Isn't that funny when that happens? I love it.
You know who actually used the memes in the worst way in politics? German Pirate Party.
Oh, really?
Though, yeah, did you know they actually proposed such a thing as Ponyzeit in one of the local what is it? It's not Bundestag because Bundestag is the highest form of parliament, but like the lower one in one of the regions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they proposed to have Ponyzeit, which is essentially pony time, so that the MPs could have a break during the sessions to go watch MLP, and they go love.
Awesome. That's hilarious. Shay hates ponies. I'm not a brony, but
Jack, please
I don't
comment
hate.
on this
And
development.
I don't think Shay hates ponies as much as he used to, though.
Fuck brony.
Ever since I kind of left 4chan, I don't hate any of those things as much as I used to, except for Putty.
My Little Pony, the show itself is very average, but the meme, the fandom is becoming more and more retarded.
Yeah, but you have to understand that like every single fandom that is connected by the internet is going to have a lot of very embarrassing loud voices representing them.
Well, Brony somehow managed to surpass the Sonic fandom.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Sonic
bronies are now the
thing.
new like furry, and nobody hates furry anymore because of bronies, and I'm happy about that.
Why is Shrek a meme?
Like seriously, nobody hates furries anymore because fucking ponies.
Oh no, it's based off of some old meme about like Shrek coming to a little boy's wing.
Yeah, I never understood that either.
No, wasn't it like...
Have anyone seen Shrek and Shadow fandom?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that. That is really funny.
It's random and it makes no sense.
Well, she's love.
I don't know, like, I said this in one of my Let's Play videos and a couple people got offended, but you can't deny that there's a higher amount of autistic people in the Sonic fandom than any other fandom, right?
Kinda.
Right?
Yeah.
Is that not like a thing? I mean, like, there's more autistic people in the furry fandom than a million other fandoms, right? But Sonic for whatever reason, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Like almost every
Well, you gotta
autistic
go
person I
fast,
know
you gotta go fast.
really loves Sonic.
So, Adam,
Yes,
why
what's
have you
up?
never done reviews?
Sorry, what? Your mic cut
Why
out.
have
a
you
bit.
never done game reviews?
I haven't done game reviews because I don't have the time for it yet. I've got a couple games that I've even bought with the intention of reviewing them because I have things to say about them. But right now I'm kind of on a press schedule, especially considering I'm trying to get out some music stuff at the same time too. I'm really actually kind of flustered and rushed this month in particular because everything for my Walking Dead videos with each consecutive month was kind of everything that I needed was already set up. All the files were already converted. I just basically had to start from a very late point in the actual process to get things done. Like as soon as I needed part 4, I would just start audio recording. Now starting with this next review that I'm doing, it's like I had to start everything from scratch. And then every single good movie that was worth seeing just happened to come out at the same time. And I made a couple of videos about that, and then my channel got terminated, and I was worrying about that for like 30 hours and didn't do anything. And now I've got some like family obligations later in the month, so like I'm really, really pressed for time this month, and it's kind of bugging me. But we'll see what happens. Otherwise, I would love to start doing game reviews. I just haven't found the right moment to get into it yet. But does nobody know who I'm talking about? Quentin Dupieux?
No.
No.
Nobody knows of Rubber, the Killer Tire movie?
Yes,
No.
I do.
But
I haven't
he's
heard
such
of
a
it.
fucking annoying asshole at this point that like I get that what his first movie was doing. Well, it's not even his first movie, but I get what Rubber was doing. But now literally he's just trying he's under the impression that just because something is different that means it's good. That's literally everything that he's doing right now is just like this is contrary to what would actually happen. And and it's almost like there's no playing on expectations because there are no expectations. Literally everything that's happening is just completely fucking random and pointless. And that's the point of it being called wrong. But some people actually like that shit, and I just can't get into it. And the funniest thing was I tried watching that last night, and like I was trying to give it like a second chance because I couldn't make it past like 5 minutes the first time I tried to watch it. And I was watching it on my computer, and the subtitles were from a different movie, and I thought that because of what this movie was trying to be, of just like, haha, is so different, that the subtitles were intentional, and I really fucking liked it under that pretense, but it turns out that that wasn't the case, and that the subtitles were actually for Wrong Turn 4.
Wrong turn.
Like, the entire first part of the movie, like, that I was watching of Wrong, not Wrong Turn 4, but Wrong, the subtitles were wrong, ironically. And so the whole intro was just like this weird dialogue of these people at a hospital, and like, these are these 3 abused children, and that's the
Oh
thing
my God,
about
they
them,
just
is
put his face
none
on
of
it.
them feel pain. This one had his arm cut off, and then like for a good like 4 minutes after that point, when the actual opening title sequence is done for the movie Wrong, and it's starting to like actually get into what's happening in the movie, the subtitles were just like mumble grumble and like grunting intensifies and like all these weird sound effects. And I thought, like, for sure this has to be in like a
I'm surprised you
bonus
didn't find out
subtitle
before.
track that's just for the sake of it being hilarious. But no, it's for an actual movie. I
Oh my
thought,
God,
like,
it's
it was
gonna
so
be racist.
ridiculous that I had assumed that it was a joke. But it was for Wrong Turn 4, and it was just the wrong subtitles for the movie Wrong.
Wrong turn for fuck me.
Wrong had the wrong subtitles. And that would have been fucking amazing if that was intentional. but it wasn't. And Quentin Dupieux had nothing to do with it. And the movie was a piece of fucking shit.
Are you going to try out the Stanley Parable?
I kind of did. I played it on my friend's copy, or my roommate. I was in his room playing it, and it like I enjoyed it, but I left the room telling him to download Antichamber instead because it's a better version of the same thing.
Yeah, well, for me, it's really fun, but there's absolutely no replay value after you finish it.
I mean, like, I can see it getting too. It's too tedious without as much. I like Antichamber because there's something that you can figure out and learn. And the Stanley Parable is something that I don't feel like I can learn. It's something that just you. So, I mean, like, other people criticize a lot of games for just being like walking through it and having a sightseeing tour, and that's kind of also what Stanley Parable is in a way. I mean, you can choose which things you see in what order, kind of. But you're really just like you're kind of just walking through as someone like talks to you, and it's funny and it's quirky and I like that it exists, but I feel like it would have made a better, like, smaller part of a different game rather than a game in itself.
Yeah, it would have yeah. I was gonna you just explain it.
That's what I do.